Hi everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. So last time out we kicked Team Rocket's ass in Celadon at the game corner, and we got the Silph Scope, so now we're going to be heading up through, at the beginning of this part, we're going to be heading up through the Pokemon Tower. Fuck, can't remember. We're going to be heading through the Pokemon Tower to find out what's going on with these ghosts, and also to meet Mr. Fuji. Not Mount Fuji, Mr. Fuji. Mr. Fuji's a man, not a mountain. So yeah, Douche has been a bit of a coward and needs us to go up with him, so fuck it, why not? I don't know what he was going to do anyway without the Silph Scope. Dumbass. Okay. In this part, actually, I've got like a mixture of clothes on. I haven't got my formal wear on, so I'm being a bit disrespectful. But we've so we went up only past the. We only investigated the first floor, so this floor here. So once we get to here, we're going to be getting into a new area here, which is kind of cool. It's a Silph Scope. And the ghosts are, well, yeah, they are ghost Pokemon. Haunter, I didn't realise was that big. Look at him. It's fucking massive. So yeah, this is the only place in the entire game, I believe, where you can get ghost Pokemon. And it's also the only place where you'll fight these people, channelers, I believe they're called. Which are kind of, look kind of freaky, look kind of zombified. But yeah, you basically have 3 ghost-type Pokemon in the whole game, all from the same line. You've got Ghastly, you've got Haunter, and you've got Gengar. Never use them. They're not particularly useful. They're extremely weak against Psychic type, as well as Ground type. I don't know how, but they are. Now this is something which I kind of like about this version of the game, is that they kind of imply that basically when you first fight them, they're kind of overtaken by the ghosts, and they're, you know, they've been taken over, and then when you beat them, they're kind of like, oh, you saved me, I'm awake now. That is something which I kind of like, and it's kind of something which was not really touched on in the original games, and so I just kind of like that the change it up a little bit here and actually give a reason as to why they're kind of so nuts, you know, that they're just making these kind of weird noises, that they are, you know, sorry, they are kind of being possessed by ghosts, and you have to kind of beat them to kind of snap them out of it. I kind of like that. It's kind of a nice little attention to detail, which is kind of cool. But as I was talking about with the ghost types, I like all 3 designs. I think Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar look cool, but they're just not really all that good as far as Pokemon go. They don't really have good stats. I mean, the only real thing you can do with them is if you teach your Gengar Hypnosis and Dream Eater, then he can really wreck Pokemon up, to be fair. But in fact, that's what Morty does in Generation 2. He absolutely wrecks shit doing that. But he's not particular. I just don't use them. I've tried to use them in the past, and they don't know good moves at the beginning. Oh, look at my awesomely hot Doug Trio here. Based on Hanson, I think. Looks like Hanson. Sorry. But as I was saying, yeah, the ghost type in Gen 1, you've only got 3 Pokemon, and Gengar's the only one that's really kind of useful, and you have to trade him to get to Gengar. You have to trade Haunter to get Gengar. So it's really just not worth it. Yeah, the ghost types in this game are, in Gen 1, and by extension this game, are just not really all that good. Don't learn very many good moves, and that TM is useless. So yeah, I mean, I love the designs. I'll say it, they're flat out shit Pokemon. I just don't use them. like, at all. I've tried on various occasions, and I just think they suck. I like I say, if you know how to use them well, I guess you can get some use out of them. But for me, it's just like, Ghastly, go away. Ghastly, thank you. Yeah, it's just not my. I just don't use them. They're just not very good to me. Ghastly in particular is pretty pathetic. But the designs are kind of nice. But that's really it. Found a nugget. Can sell that later. Get myself some more cashola. So basically, this little green thing in the center here basically cures your Pokemon of all ailments and heals your Pokemon up to full health if they're not at full health. Pretty useful. To be honest, this thing only has 4 floors, and if you've got a ground type or a psychic type at this point, which you probably are going to have one or the other, you're going to be wrecking the trainers in like one or two attacks per Pokemon because it's always like, because they always in this they only have ghost types, so as long as you have a ground or a psychic type, you're gonna wreck their shit. I didn't mean to do that twice, by the way. Anyway, up we go. The Ghastly got in my way again, and we're always near the top now. I think this is the last floor before we meet the main ghost again. Okay, here we go. We found a revive. Nice, that's useful. I do kind of like, the fog kind of showing in the area as well, which kind of gives it a nice creepy little vibe. It's kind of nice. More balls. Need me some Ultra Balls. So childish. Anyway, Hyper Potion, nice. And I think this is it. Yeah, here we are. So we're at the So we're finally at the at the Ghost. Where are you, Ghost? Show yourself. Show yourself to me. I do love this that appearance there. It does look it's kind of cool. So this is the big one. Something that they kind of changed in this version, because in the original version, because we're going to reveal who this is now. And I do like this cutscene. This cutscene is nice. It's the ghost of Cubone's mother, Marowak. In the original version of the game, you actually had to fight the Marowak in order to send it into the other world. In this version, I prefer this version because it's kind of like, basically you reveal it with the Self Scope. Cubone gets to say goodbye, and then Marowak disappears off into the next life. It's kind of a nice, touching little scene, to be fair. I kind of like it. And something which else is kind of cool as well. Now so the Cubone just wanted to see its mom again, and something that's kind of cool is that Douche turns out not to be such an asshole, and decides he's going to take this little Cubone home and raise him up himself. Kind of showing that he's a nice guy. Going to take care of this grieving Cubone. And in Endgame, he does have a Marowak in his party. So that's kind of cool. I like that concept. I like that idea. Oops. Almost missed the ball. What item did I miss? Oh, rare candy. Can't afford to miss that. So yeah, I think I prefer the way this scene plays out now, as opposed to what it did in the original gen, where you had to fight the Marowak. Which, to be fair, didn't really make much sense when you think about it, because you're fighting a ghost. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Finally, here's Mr. Fuji. So guess what this means? We're going to have to fight Team Rocket all over again. What's this, like the 4th time now? Jesus Christ. They never learn, do they? It's time to fight Jesse and James again for the 4th time. I don't think it's the last time. I think we've got at least 1 or 2 more fights with them. But they've still got the same team. They've got Arbok and Weezing. Now we've got Pikachu and Kadabra. So let's finish them off. Thunderbolt. And let's use a Psybeam. I can't wait till I get fucking Psychic. I desperately need Psychic. Weezing, wow, you're a tank. Yeah, but to be fair, they are a few levels above my Pokemon. At least a few levels above Kadabra. Oh no, actually, we're at the same level. And Pikachu's 3 levels above. Look at that, paralysed and poisoned. Wow, that couldn't have gone much fucking worse. So what am I deciding to do here? Yeah, I think I'm using the Agitail on Pikachu just so he doesn't get hurt. And then I'm going to say, fuck it. I'm going to kill off the Arbok. And just hope that... I hate Crunch. Crunch is such a pain in the arse, especially against Kadabra. At least they're going to poison again. That would have sucked. Alright, Arcanine. That's a good boy. Do your job. So I think at this point, what am I going to do? I'm still doing this strategy. We'll use Flamethrower on Arbok. Let's go. There we go, Weezing's down. And I think the Flamethrower should do for Arbok as well. And here we go. My beautiful dog. There you go. Fuck your snake. Pikachu's now at level 38. Nice. Yeah, my Pikachu is significantly higher than a lot of my other Pokemon. I think they're like, he's 4 levels higher, I think, than all my other than my, you know, the next strongest Pokemon I got on my team at the moment. Oh well. Stealthily kidnaps old man. Jesus Christ. My apologies. So, Team Rocket's done once more. Now time for us to talk to Mr. Fuji. Hi dude, how are you? Didn't even notice, what the fuck. So yeah, he was trying to calm the spirit of Marowak. That's why he was up here, and so we've helped him to do that, I guess. So yeah, now we're out of the Pokemon Tunnel. We're now talking to Mr. Fuji. And so we're going to be getting something off him, which is going to be extremely useful. We've got the Poke Flute. Used only for one thing, really, I guess. I think you can use it... I'm not 100% sure. I think you can use the Poke Flute in battle if you want, to wake up your Pokemon. But it's pretty much the only reason it's... the only use it has, really, going, is to wake up the 2 Snorlaxes. One's on the east side of Kanto, and one's on the west side of Kanto. And that is where we're going to be heading off to. We're heading off to the east side. We're going to go down the east side, all the way down to the bottom to, I believe, Fuchsia? I believe it's Fuchsia. I'm pretty sure it's Fuchsia, yeah. And we're going to get ourselves a Snorlax. So let's get going. TM50 Roost. I don't know what Roost does. I know it's a bird type. It's a flying type move. I think... yeah, Pidgeotto, the Pidgeline learns it naturally, I believe. I I think it raises your... It raises defense, I want to say. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure about that. So we're challenged by Fisherman Ned. I don't know why I said it that way. And he's got a Staryu. Staryu and Starmie. Pretty good Pokemon. Pretty decent water type. Starmie is a pretty good tank for Gen 1. So I still wouldn't pick it above something like Vaporeon, but he's a good he's a good Pokemon. The Staryu and Starmie line, they're pretty good. But once again, it's just personal preference. There are other better water types for me to use, like Gyarados. Shit, we can't get that yet. Like Gyarados or Vaporeon. But so we're not going to be using those for now. We're going to be sticking with. So we're not going to be using Staryu or Starmie. I would like to use a Kingler one run just because I like his design, but I'm sticking with Gyarados for this run. Okay, what? Tom, there you go. A Repel, that's nice. I find Repels, yes, less useful in this version just because you can see where the Pokemon are and just avoid them quite easily anyway, so it's not Repel isn't as needed as much, to be fair. But ooh, hi. You a trainer? Let's fight you. Ah, we've already seen your Pokemon. And we've got 3 Ultra Balls, which will be very useful for the upcoming fight. And here we are. It's Snorlax. What a fat fuck. I remember in the original version of the game, you had to literally go into the menu and click on the poker flute to use it, to wake up the Snorlax to fight it. In this version of the game, you just walk up to him and it automatically takes it out. It's a nice little bit of streamlined design. I like that. But that's something that later Pokemon games have, done anyway. So it's kind of nice. So apparently Snorlax thinks we're food, so it's going to try and eat us. Shit. It's a big bear. So yeah, and this is pretty much... This shows how you get your legendary Pokemon here, which we haven't shown off yet. Basically what you have to do is you have to fight them with... These are the only wild Pokemon battles you'll get. You get Snorlax. Oh shit. Ooh. Oh god. You get Snorlax and you get the 3 legendary birds plus Mewtwo at the end of the game. And these are the only wild Pokemon battles you get. And yeah, pretty much it makes them actually easier to catch. Oh fuck you. The reason why they're easier to catch, in my opinion, is because you can pretty much just kill them. You can bring their health down to 0, and then you have the option to catch them. As opposed to in previous game, in the other games in the series, where you have to kind of get them down to 0 and flip them with a status ailment to increase the chance of catching and all that kind of shit. And you have to keep them at a really low level of health in order to be able to beat them, in order to be able to catch them more easily. Here it's kind of easier yet harder because because you kill them, you don't have a chance of knocking them out and not being able to catch them. But at the same token, it makes the catching more difficult because of course you can't paralyze them and to increase your chances of catching them. But there's Snorlax. It's tiny. No, it fucking isn't. What are you smoking? It's not tiny. So we've got Ultra Balls, we've got 58. Is that going to be enough? It should be. Alright. Excellent. That should be a catch then. Easy as you like. Yeah, we've got this. Fuck you. Snorlax, you piece of shit. I'm going to kill you. That's a great. Can't. This is the one thing I hate about Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. The RNG when catching Pokemon seems to be really ridiculous at points. That's how bad it is. I'm actually using a raspberry. That's right. There you go. Excellent. We've used a raspberry. We've got an excellent. It should be easy to get. Fuck you. Go in my ball. Excellent. Come on. 1, 2. I'm holding down and B. There we go. We got him. And we've got him in our Ultra Ball. And we get a load of experience points. And boom. Kadabra's leveled up, Arcanine's leveled up, Gyarados leveled up, and so is Pidgeotto and Dugtrio, which is nice. And Pidgeotto's level 36. You know what that means. Yes! Finally, at long last, Pidgeotto is evolving to his final ultimate form. Just in time for me to drop him. I will be dropping him fairly soon because he's not really... Pidgeot's a cool Pokemon and I love the design, but it's just not particularly useful. But yeah, Pidgeot. Normal flying type. And here's Snorlax. Snorlax is really a really useful Pokemon. It's only a normal type. But really good defensive stats, really good attacking stats. And it can learn any TM in the whole game. So it can learn a ridiculous amount of moves and makes it really versatile. So Snorlax is really useful along... Nidoqueen and Nidoking are the same way as well. But anyway, that is it for this part of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Join me next time when we'll be heading off, continuing down the left side of the island, and we'll be trying to make our way to the next city, which I believe is Fuchsia. It's going to take a long time, though, because it's a long way and there's a lot of trainers. So join me next time for the next part of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Fuck you, Snorlax. Anyway, see you next time.